Hey, and welcome to the first video from my new studio space here. Today we're diving deep into the Elektron Digitone 2 to create ever-evolving pad sounds using probability, trig conditions and parameter locks. This technique allows you to generate long, almost non-repetitive sequences that constantly shift and morph over time. So this is perfect for ambient music, cinematic soundscapes, experimental production in any kind, or like in my case, for transitioning and improvising between songs in a live set. If you are here for the first time or have been here before but haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to my channel as well as liking and sharing this video. As I am a small channel, as you might know, this would help me big time to keep creating videos like this. Okay, so first, let me say a few small words about my new studio space here. It's still not all set up yet, and after days of lugging everything over, setting up and wiring everything, I've now caught a cold. Yeah, it's German winter, so finally it hit me too, but I'm just so happy about my new little space here that I actually want to make the new video from here. I'm still looking for the best camera angle though, because even though everything I need fits in here, like my drum set over there, guitar amp, microphones, and of course all my synth stuff, this room is incredibly small. I mean, it's a shoebox, really. It feels a bit like Harry's room under the stairs. But anyway, this is my creative space and I love that I have it. I will add some acoustic treatment in the future so that I can mix properly and have even frequencies throughout the whole room. Yeah, I think that's my project for the next few weeks or so. Okay, so I am rethinking my live set at the moment. Again, I collected so many new track ideas during January, which I now am trying to develop further into full songs inside of my live set. And I had the idea of creating some kind of soundscape for the parts in between the songs, where I can tweak live a few parameters while I transition from one song to another, and the soundscape is playing itself and evolving. So wouldn't it be nice to have an ever self-evolving soundscape running while you have time to tweak other sounds live and maybe take a sip of your drink or something? So in order for the music to not become boring over time, because the same 64-step pattern is always repeated, we need a sequence that is constantly evolving by itself and almost never repeats. Yeah, and to achieve that, we utilize the not-so-secret weapons of the Elektron sequencer, namely parameter locks, trig conditions, probability, and of course the fill page, or the fill function. And of course we use the Digitone 2 for that, because we have these 16 tracks, plus 4 different synth engines and multiple different filter modes to play with. So if you're ready to take your Digitone sequencing to the next level, let's dive into it. Okay, so now let's jump into the Digitone 2 here. I've created a blank pattern with nothing in there. What I did is, let me show you. I've got a zoom prepared here. I went to the sound library and I filtered for lead sounds, and I've chosen the first sound that appears here, and it's the Hidden Tears preset, and it sounds like this. So nothing fancy is happening here yet. So what I do before I start recording, I go to the keyboard setup. I've chosen the Dorian scale and I've chosen the F sharp as the root note, and I have the keyboard fold mode on, so which gives me 2 octaves of this F sharp Dorian scale. I just like the Dorian scale and F sharp as a root note. I think it has a nice character to it, so let's work with that. Then I go into the tempo menu. I selected the metronome to on, and I selected a pre-roll of 1 bar. That gives me 1 bar time to, or a 1 bar count in, so that I can record at the first step. And then I go into the page menu and select 128 steps, because that's why we use the Digitone 2. So okay, let's start recording a little melody here. Okay, that's what we have right now. Let's make it so that it is constantly changing in some ways. So first let me show you a few things. Okay, so now let's go to the trig page. where you can set the trig conditions, and let's choose a different percentage or a different probability value for each of the steps, so that not all steps are played every time, but only a percentage of the possibility, you can say. Step number 1 is always playing. Step number 2, I will go by between 30 and 33% on each of these steps. This takes a little while.
One eternity later.
Okay, so what I did is I selected a different percentage of probability value over here for each of these steps. And I did it so that in the first half of this pattern I had values between 30 and 35 maybe. And on the second row, on the second half of the pattern, I have values dialed in between 35 and maybe 45, so that I have a little bit of rise over the time. So let's hear how it sounds now. So as you can hear, it evolves over time. So every round of the pattern plays, it plays a little bit different, the notes. If we now dial in a little bit more of reverb and delay, and let's hop over to the delay settings and cut off a bit of the lower frequencies, so that the lower frequencies are not adding up over the time if much delay is applied. And the same for the reverb, maybe like this, and give the reverb a little bit more decay and a little bit less pre-delay, so that it creates a nice long reverb tail combined with this constantly changing trigs that been played. Let's switch the delay to ping pong and make it a little bit wider. And now you can already hear how the pattern is evolving over time with very much of delay and reverb, and how it stays interesting. Okay, so what can we do to make it evolve even more over time? We could play with LFOs. So let's hop over to the LFO page. And what I want to do now is some kind of classic. I want to select the cutoff of the frequency cutoff, like this. I want to choose a smooth wave. Then I will choose a little bit of depth, not too much. And I will lower the speed of the LFO so that it evolves slowly over time and constantly keeps opening and closing the filter or the cutoff of the filter smoothly. So let's hear it. Okay, so let's add another LFO. Let's select the mix of the X and Y parameter here. Maybe let's go to the second LFO and select the mix. There it is. Let's raise the depth and let's see how it sounds. Okay, already I can sit here and listen to that patch for about an hour or something. Let's combine it with something from the digitakt. So let's select the same scale as on the Digitone 2. Choose Dorian and F sharp and make the keyboard fold on. Okay, these are the steps on the digitakt. Let's work them the same way as in the Digitone. So let's play with the probability. This time I will go between 40 and 50%. Okay, so let's also play with some trig conditions. Or no, first let's go to the LFO page and also select like maybe the length of the sample, because I cut it a little bit. Amp decay. That's what I wanted. Let's raise it a little bit. Let's make it slow from the speed of the LFO, BPM to 8. And let's choose a sine wave. Okay, let's check it out. Let's raise the decay on the reverb. Play with the pre-delay. And let's make the LFO that triggers the filter frequency, make it random. Give a little bit of fade in. Okay, we can try to add another element on the syntakt, which is triggered every now and then. Okay, let's actually try to record something. Okay. So what we can do now is we go to the trigs. This is the first round. I want to say that this has only been played first of 4 times. So we go to the trig page and now we select 1 of 4 times. So it only has been played the first time of four cycles, you could say. These also 1 of 4. And then we go to the next round, and the answer to this has been played only maybe 4th of 4 or maybe 2 of 4. Try it out. Okay, now the bass tone from the syntakt really is only been played a few times in a long row. So there we have a little bit more of randomness than before. And we could go a little bit further and add some other details in the Digitone 2. Let's see. Create another track or select another track, and let's try to find some texture sounds. Let's try this one. There's an arpeggiator programmed already. But if we go to the keyboard menu and select, it's already in, it's still in Dorian, F sharp and keyboard fold on. Okay, that's nice. If we program some short tricks and parameter lock the decay of the trick afterwards, combined with probability, that might work. So let's see. Okay, let's see, and let's program some probabilities in there again. But this time I would stay around 40 to 45% so that it happens a little bit more often. So let's hear what we got. Okay, so now let's select the decay of the sound or the length of the actual trick. Let's see. Let's choose decay time for all of the tricks of track number 2. And yeah, why not? Let's make the LFO wave random. Let's hear only track number 2. Okay, I think altogether there is quite some amount of randomness happening, and I think this pattern could last for a long time and not become boring. I don't know if I can use this for my live set because it's quite ambient-ish, but for the sake of explaining this, I think that's a pretty nice pattern. Let's hear it again for maybe half a minute or so. And let's check all the things that are happening in a random amount of time. Or not random, but with probabilities between 30 and maybe 54 or 50%. Okay, yeah, I think that's a pretty nice approach of creating ever-evolving pad sounds or cinematic soundscapes, or I don't know how to call it, but I'm quite satisfied, I think. And I could literally sit here for about an hour and just listen to this to this one pattern, because it's constantly changing and evolving. It has a nice ambient touch to it, so I could listen to it for about an hour or something. So thanks again for watching, guys. Be sure to hit that like button if you found this video helpful in any way, and don't forget to subscribe for more workflow and production tips. And let me know also in the comments if you like this approach of creating ever-evolving soundscapes this way, and if you would use something like this to transition from one pattern to another, or maybe you would like to add something to it. So, okay guys, see you in the next video. Take care guys. Bye.